How's it going, guys? How's it going, Hobo Evan? Uh, just trying to get things set up on the side here. So, today I'm going to be showing off a script I've been working on for quite some time now, probably about a year. Um, Started off as a project just to kind of, for me to learn 5M development more, and I want to continue expanding on it, but I want to show what I have so far. And it's going to be my transit hub script. It's going to involve lots of different transit options. Currently, the transit hub script currently has helicopters and taxis, Swift ride service, which is essentially like Uber, and then a luxury, which would be like a limo. Um, Eventually, before I release it, I want to try to get planes added to it, so you can also have planes fly you to different airports and stuff like that. Um, and it'll just be all in one script. Um, it's something I've been wanting to do for a while, so today I'm gonna show it off, and we'll start with the vehicles. So the normal, we'll just start with the taxi. So if you do slash call ride, you can pick between taxi, Swift, or Swift luxury. In this case, we're going to choose taxi and just hit enter. You'll now have a prompt to cancel the ride if you'd like. And you will also have a blip on your map, which shows it here. Now, currently, I believe I have traffic turned off. So it is obviously going to be a lot better for the AI driver. He will slowly approach. That is something that is configurable if you don't want him to slowly approach. You know, if you just want to get smacked by him when he shows up. Anyway, you'll be prompted to press F to get in. Any point from once you get in the vehicle to when you hit start ride, anyone else around you will also have the prompt to be able to get in the vehicle if they are within I believe it's a 10-meter radius of the vehicle. So you can have passengers. Now, currently it is limited to the back seat only. So in this case, you can only have 2 passengers. In the limo, of course, you could have more. So let's just have him drive us up to Sandy, and we'll just have him drive us here to the airport. And so once you set a waypoint, you will now be prompted to start ride, and at any point you can cancel the ride in this. So we can start ride. On the left, you do have the distance driven text, which tells you how far you have driven up until this point. That comes in handy for if you have use money turned on, which would use the money framework and would allow you to actually be charged by the mile that the guy has driven. That is not currently toggled on. And he will stop and wait at traffic lights and most things. Of course, it is AI. There are some times that they don't stop at stop signs or traffic lights. You know, there's only so much you can do when it comes to controlling them, but I tried to do the best to control them. It does have the option to speed it up, which for reference here, I'll just turn on the show speed in miles per hour. That will also increase the cruise speed that he goes. And also, if I hit it and he's at a traffic light, he ignores the traffic light. and you'll notice the miles per hour down there in the bottom right hand corner. Um, when it's in the speeded up section, it can reach, I believe it's 85 miles an hour. Um, and if you hit it to reduce speed, the max speed he can go is 55. And as you saw, he ran through that last red light because sometimes it takes a minute for the AI to realize that his driving style has changed. But in this case, I'm going to have him rush at least until we get to the highway. Now when it comes into the heli, that is something that took a long time to get to work, or a decent bit. I mean, I got it to work probably within a week of playing around with it, and I got it now in a good state. So when you call it, it puts down a flare with, it actually has smoke coming off the flare too. And that is just so you know where he will land, so you're not standing right where he'll land, which is obviously just going to make it easier for the AI and make it easier for issues to not happen. There are some catch cases in this as well that I have put in place, so that, for example, if I die while I'm in the taxi or the heli or anything, then in that case I will, the ride would be canceled and you'd be kicked out of the vehicle. Same thing goes for the heli, of course, and also same thing goes for the driver. If the driver, for whatever reason, dies, then it will, then it'll cancel the ride. Same thing goes if he gets out, or if I get out. If I were to just press F instead of X, then I'll just jump out of the vehicle and the ride would be canceled in the end. As far as canceling, the ride does drive off. He tries to get 75 meters away from you within 10 seconds. If he doesn't manage that, then he despawns anyway, just to make sure that he does despawn, because I do know sometimes if you don't despawn them, they'll continue on and it'll just cause a lot of weird issues with other AI. So I always try to make sure it cleans it up, which you'll see when I reach the destination here. Also, in the, at least the ride service part of it, for taxis and Swift and all that stuff, you do have the option to cancel the ride, obviously, and if I do cancel the ride here, he would stop and let me out. So yeah, he'll pretty much kick you out, or not kick you out. He'll stop and let you out if you do a cancel ride. Otherwise, you'll just have to deal with getting out. Did a drive-by inside the taxi. So are you meaning like if I was in the back seat and like stuck a gun out the window, he should kick me out? Is that what you're meaning? I don't think that happens. It technically can happen. There is an issue and kind of a conflict between this script and Big Denny's locals call 911. I've had my taxi drivers call 911 on you before, so technically that can happen. But as of right now, there's no built-in functionality for that. But I actually like that idea, so I might expand on that. But as you'll see here, he will drive away. If he doesn't manage, as you saw, he didn't manage to get 75 meters away from me within 10 seconds, so he just despawns. Give me 1 second, guys. I will be right back. Sorry about that. I am back. So yeah. Yeah, no, that's definitely a good idea. I actually like that. I don't think anything will happen right now. If I remember correctly. And then obviously, all the rides are pretty much the same. If I call for a Swift Luxury, it's pretty much the same. How's it going, Keith? Just showing off the Transit Hub script and the progress I've made on it so far. It's almost ready to release. Should be here shortly. But he'll drive up to you nice and slow, and that is, again, something you can turn off. There are two options for that, which you could turn off whether he slow approaches you, the player, or slow approaches the destination, which just makes for a smoother ride when he does get to the place instead of, just hauling ass. Unless that's what you want. So let's just have him take me down. Trying to find a good place, because I'm going to show the heli next. So we'll just have him take me down here. Cool. And any seatbelt scripts or anything like that would still work, even though you're in an AI-driven vehicle. So if he does hit something and you don't have a seatbelt on, you would still fly out. And there we go. And he'll let anyone else out as well. It just kicks them out of the vehicle when you get to the destination. Great. We'll just do this parking lot as a spot for the heli. So for the heli, it's pretty simple. You just do /call heli, and that's it. It will place a flare down in front of you. It's always in front of you, so make sure you are facing the way you want that flare to be. If for some reason, actually, I can just show this. If for some reason that flare's in a location that it should not be, you can just hit cancel ride, and it will begin the cancel process of deleting him and deleting the flare. The heli does spawn. I'm going to use one sync blip here. And the heli does always spawn within this one sync radius. So you shouldn't ever have any issues with that. Now, when it comes to the AI-driven vehicles, for the ground vehicles, that's kind of dependent on a few things. One being, like if you're here or somewhere that's not convenient for them, there's times that they'll spawn over here, which is obviously out of your one sync distance. It can cause issues. I'm obviously trying my best to work on those, so that it doesn't happen. But again, it's 5M. One sync is not something easy to work with. Anyway, he'll come in, he'll land nice and smooth, and when he touches down, the flare disappears. And then you can get in the vehicle, and it works just the same for the most part. Currently, not sure why, but the method I use to get in the vehicle, or make the player get in the vehicle, is currently only working with the Maverick helicopter. I've tried a few other helicopters, and it just has not worked. I'm not really sure why. But either way, same thing. You come in here and you just set a location. So let's do some further distance. Let's just do up here in Toledo at the gas station. And you can hit start ride and he'll take off and fly you there. Also, same thing. If anyone's around you before you hit start ride, they can get in and fly with you. Now, the only thing that I don't currently have with the heli is an option to cancel the ride. If you wanted to cancel the ride while in flight, you would essentially just have to jump out. That is currently the only way. I am planning on making a cancel ride function where he will stop the heli, lower the altitude, and make anyone in it repel. But that option would only be available in helis that have the repel functionality as an option, such as the Maverick. It has a lot of configuration. You can configure the price per mile. You can configure the vehicles that can come for the taxis. So if you have custom taxis or something like that that you want to use, you can use those. Same thing for Swift vehicles, which is essentially like the Uber alternative. AI helicopters do not do well with mountains. Probably shouldn't have chose this location for this, but either way. And you can also add helis and whatnot too. So it's pretty nice. It took a while. I do remember the first test I did with it. He took off and flew directly into a telephone pole and blew up. Obviously, that's not ideal. But I have since been tweaking it, and so far I've got it in a pretty great working state. There's also minimum turbulence. It does still happen, as you can kind of tell here. There's a little bit of sway, but it's a lot less than if I didn't set that, because if I don't set that, then he has this massive like sway back and forth. It's just something with how the AI flies. They're not the smartest. But you will notice there are some printouts that do happen. These are debug, and they will be removed before this is released. So this is 200 meters away from the landing zone, and then 100. And every time it hits one of those, if you notice, the helicopter slows down, and that is to make it have a nice smooth glide into the landing zone. Which, in my opinion, I think it is very smooth. And once he's over top of it, he will come to a stop and go straight down. Assuming, of course, there's nothing in his way to land, like a person, a vehicle, or something like that. In which case, he would try to land his best. But, of course, it's AI. It doesn't always do that. And then he'll take off and fly away. And the same thing. He tries to get 75 meters away before despawning. And there is a debug function that you can turn on for troubleshooting. So if you do have issues, you can turn that on, and it tells you pretty much every single step that the script is doing. So that you can kind of try to figure out where something's going wrong for bug reports for me, which makes my life easier and your life easier. I do like that idea for the drive-by. So if you try to shoot out of the vehicle while you're in the back, that's definitely something I want to try to do. I think that could be pretty funny. I do have Big Daddy's PG script in here, so if I turn that off, this is a function that this script does have, and which is where the driver will talk. It does not happen in the heli, for obvious reasons. But for example, if I call a taxi, he will have dialogue. Now again, like I said, if you have like the PG script or something that stops AI from talking, that wouldn't happen. It's just the limitation of that.
So where do you want to go?
And so as you could hear there, he will ask like where you want to go when you get in. And in this case, we'll just set our waypoint back down to Sandy.
Right away, sir.
And he has ride banter that will just happen as you drive. He is horrible at turning around. He'll eventually figure it out at some point. There we go. Cool. So yeah, this is how this works. Currently, the license plates of the vehicles are just set to FS Taxi, SF Swift, or...
This is only a part-time gig. I'm also working on a few screenplays.
and there's the ride banter, which he will say every few seconds, and that is variable. It's anywhere from I think 5 seconds to like 8-second timeout that he will say that. And it chooses that at the beginning of the ride, which I'm thinking about making it dynamic so it's different each time out through the ride. Just to make it a bit more interesting.
This job wouldn't be so bad if it weren't for all the shitty drivers in Los Santos.
Agreed. So, and I guess I could show the cancel ride function. So if I were to hit cancel ride,
Yeah, I'll drop you here.
he'll say that, and he'll stop, let you out, and he will drive on, and then do the cleanup process of deleting it once he gets far enough away. Whichever comes first, 10 seconds or far enough away, and he'll despawn. And that's just to make it kind of realistic on driving away, but also still cleaning them up so they don't get stuck anywhere, because that can happen. I guess we can call Swift for the next ride, as I have not used them yet, and he's going to come from this way. How's it going, Gussie boy? Doing good today. How are you? Forgot I set the pickup on the other side.
Sure thing, man. I guess you're in a hurry.
And as you can see, the sped up version has max speed of around 81 miles an hour in the bottom right hand corner there. It does have the functionality, like I said, to integrate this with a money framework if you have one. Currently, it only supports Big Daddy's money framework.
Don't worry, I clean it good.
I will probably also add like QB and ESX potentially, but it may not be there at release. And that's fine. You guys can still integrate it with those. It will still work. Everything's there for you to do that. That stuff will not be locked behind the paywall.
Okay, buddy, there you go.
And that is an issue that I don't really know why it happens. In this one location, specifically right here, for some reason, the waypoints on the map don't actually give you the full distance. Like if I just spawn a vehicle here, sometimes they don't, and it will stop here, which causes him to stop. I am working on fixing that. I just don't really know the cause of it. At least 100% cause. I just know the waypoint disappears, so he thinks you're at the location, which is something. Yeah, I'm trying to tweak that so that doesn't happen, because obviously that's quite annoying. More than likely, I'll just make it not dependent on the waypoint system, so that even if the waypoint disappears, he will still continue to where the waypoint last was set. Eventually, I would like to have the option also to change your destination after the ride has started, which more than likely would involve him stopping the vehicle, waiting for your input on a new destination, and then continuing. So that's a process. I haven't got that far yet. But any suggestions or anything you think that needs to change, I'm fully open to. I do love the suggestion for drive-by shooting, being kicked out of the vehicle. That would be quite hilarious if that happened.
I shit you not. She did like 6 lines of coke in the back there.
Yeah, I've been working on this for quite a while. I'm pretty proud of where I've gotten to. I've rewrote it about 3 times so far, just with better functionality that I have learned as times went on. And of course, I can also show some of the scripts I already have out.
I've been driving this cab for 7 years. The traffic just gets worse and worse.
So I do have two other, while we're driving here, I do have two other scripts, big scripts that are out. I do have a loading screen, which is one of my favorites that I have made. It's an updated version of my very first one that I ever made, which was pretty basic. Um, and I also do have the rack control script, which if you want to find out more about that, there is a video on my channel here, on this channel,
Man, this is a driving town.
um, of how that is.
That's the ride, my man.
I also do have another script that is out. It is free. And it's for anyone. It's open source. It's free. It's on my GitHub. And it's called Interior Manager. And it is great for people who own a server, or even not. It allows you to manage entity sets and IPOs. What do you mean, Gussie? What buildings can I go into that are new? Meaning for prompts, MLOs? That's what we use over here. This is my beta server. How you doing, Sandbox? Been a while since I've heard from you. Anyway, with the interior manager, for like prompt, it comes pre-configured with all of prompts MLOs as well as Greencom's logistics building interior. So you have sandy houses. You can click on all the sandy houses, and at the very top, you can teleport to it. Because obviously you don't really know where it might be. Because they're just house numbers. You're not really going to know where that's at. But what this does allow you to do, I think I went to 8, is you can go to presets. This is the easiest thing to do. So you could do clean interior, dirty interior, which puts some dirt and stuff around, or lights off, which has the dirt and the lights off. So it's kind of like an abandoned house or something. So pretty nice, and you could do that for all of them. And this is fully configurable, so if you want to remove these, if you don't have these, you can remove them. I guess one thing, since you're asking, Gussie, this is one thing that's newer of a building, which is the Sandy Shores Church, which is made by Prompt MLOs, and he makes some of the best MLOs, in my opinion. We get every single one of them when it releases. I believe he's releasing a new one this Saturday, so we'll be picking that one up too. Of course, this is my beta server for for my actual Fearless Roleplay server, which is open. So if anyone would like to join it, feel free. Everything you see here is in there, and it's open to everyone to use for the most part. But yeah, this is the Sandy Shores Church by Prompts MLOs. Love his work. He does a lot of good stuff. And I actually made that interior manager to help him out a bit with, because he kept having people ask for, how to do entity sets and stuff like that. And obviously, if you're not a programmer, it can be kind of daunting to deal with. So I went and took it upon myself to make an open source one and recommend it to him so that if people ask, they can go to that. And obviously the sandy houses, I added that. Someone actually from his Discord already had them laid out, so I just I gave him credit and he offered to give them to me so I could use them. Yeah, this is one of my favorites that he has made, the Sandy Shores Church. There's not many people who make churches for FiveM, and it's something I love to see, honestly. It's different, that's for sure. Of course, as of right now, for my server, we do have the Burger Shot and the Sandy Motel by GNN. Both of them are. As far as the Sandy Motel, in June, Prompt will be releasing his, which, depending, we might be going over to it. We haven't decided on what we're doing with that yet. We do have some other. I guess I'll just show some demo stuff of our server here. We do have some other scripts that I love, which is this I can't play on my own, but we do have air hockey, so you can walk up to this on each side with someone else, and you can actually play air hockey. Works really great. We also have pool tables that work, so you can play pool with someone else. It's pretty fun, that's for sure. And then of course all of my scripts that I end up making go in here first and foremost. They go in the beta server first to make sure they're not going to cause issues with the main, and once they are confirmed, they go to the main. But yeah, no, we love Prompt's MLOs. He does a lot of great stuff. And something we do love here is classic vehicles. So like I can go into Fords, and as you can see here, we have 1927 Ford Model Ts, which are amazing. So we have a lot of old vehicles. We love them. It's great for this too, because this is a classic car dealer. So we have RP'd at this with those old cars and stuff. It's pretty fun. So yeah, that's a bit of showcase of the server. There we have a lot of Big Daddy scripts as well. First scripts, we really love the work he does. Does some fantastic work. Be picking up a few new scripts that I know he's working on and has shown off as well. We also have the flywheels in here too, fully working. You can walk in, walk around, everything's working. Took a while to, thanks to Prompt's Vertex hub, we were able to get this working with his stuff. We also re-gated in the entire back lot. The entire back lot is gated. And then we placed the car wash here as well, which looks nice, but in theory would not be a good spot for it, seeing as it is on dirt. But yeah. We do have an issue that's happening back here, actually. Not sure what's going on back here. This is not normally like this, so not sure what's going on. But this is, you know, it's not in the main server, so yeah. Not sure. Something bad has happened over here. But again, this is my beta server, so none of that reflects what's actually in the server. One of the things I do like is this road here is paved fully, and it also has a name. So we named this road New Hope, and this road leads all the way to the other end over there on Joshua. And then the part here that has the break off is New Hope Approach, as it approaches New Hope. So that's what we named this road. So it's actually named, which is great for LAO. So if you're ever traffic stop or something on this road, you know what to give. You're not just saying we're on a road paralleling something else. Makes it quite easy. So that's one of the things I love that I put in here. Put a ton of time into doing vehicle optimizations and making sure MLOs are working and not laggy. Within reason, of course. There's, you know, there's a lot of variables that come in. I mean, MLOs are always going to be somewhat laggy. Within reason, of course. But yeah, that's what we're working on. Love the stuff we have here. Any questions from anyone? Or things you guys want to see? Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, we put a lot of time into to doing this. Um, we are actually working on the penal code stuff for over here as well, which takes a long time. So that's a process, but it is coming along. What's your question? By bright light, do you mean the emergency lights? Or do you mean or do you mean something like brighter nights type bright light? Because technically for emergency lights anyway, there technically I believe there is a way that the server can have that. For far as most things, that's not possible, no. Unless they make it. For 5M, which I do know some of their like their Christmas assets they do, but we can't really use those over here because they're made for like default Sandy Shores and stuff like that, which we do not have a default Sandy Shores, as you can see. Yeah, yeah, no, that definitely is possible to make those brighter, within the server itself. There's also ways to do it that don't require NVE at all, which I have recommended to people so that if you do have issues running NVE, because it is very taxing. Personally, I don't run NVE no more. I run QuantV, and a bit of U1D. So QuantV is the main, and then U1D, for example, I use U1D's hot air balloons, which you can see here. QuantV runs pretty well, honestly. I have noticed better FPS than NVE with Quant. It is something to look at. One thing I will say I love about Quant versus how they do stuff versus how NVE does it. If, let's say you buy Quant now and you get this month's, version, and then let's say you cancel, so you just pay one time, right? With NVE, if there was a bug fix or an update or something like that that was published for this month's version, you would not get it. Versus with Quant, you do not have to be subscribed to still get updates for the last version you were subscribed for, as you will keep that, which is something I like, so that if a bug fix comes out for those older versions, you can still get it even if you're not subscribed anymore. But yeah, no, I mean, if you needed help with, I normally try not to do that server side. The reason for it is obviously if people do have graphics mods, it might cause some conflicting issues, right? So it's probably best not to. But if you did want help, I could definitely get you the file that you would put in to get brighter emergency lights with without NVE or any graphics mods, that is. Because obviously I use Quant V, which has the same stuff, and I can show off some of our vehicles here. This is supposed to have a light bar. I'll just go find the bar. There we go. Yeah, you can. I mean, this is what my lights look like. Obviously, this is with Quant V. It might look a bit different. I don't know why I'm lagging so much. Got some massive lag spikes there. And just for anyone wondering, since I'm mentioning server stuff, we are based on Alaska. One of our admins, Keith, he is from Alaska, so he helps with a lot of information that we use. Whether it's vehicles, the way they look, the sirens, the uniforms, everything. That guy's amazing. He does a lot of work for helping the server move along as well. But yeah, no, if you can DM me if you want. I can definitely get you the file and tell you how you can adjust it to your liking. To be able to do that, you just have to override the visual settings for that, because that is a thing that's basically what these graphics mods do. They just do it in a way that you can do it, from in-game, from, your sliders and stuff like that. Now, obviously, you won't be able to do this without, an actual mod. I don't know where it's at. It's somewhere in here. Oh, here. Yeah, right. You won't be able to do these in here, but training manual. What do you mean? For LAO? For my server or something else? I mean, yeah, we do have a full documentation website. It has, it does have stuff for law enforcement. We have a whole keybinds section that gets updated every so frequently with commands and keybinds and stuff we have to help out civilians, so they don't have to ask, the question of like how to do something all the time. Because that even as the civ perspective, that definitely does get annoying having to ask. And then it takes away from other people's time too. So yeah, no, we have a lot of documentation for, keybinds and all that good stuff. We don't really have like a training for law enforcement or civilians. It's more or less just, follow these things, follow the guidelines, and you'll be good. For when it comes to the LEO, we do have like required weapons you are required to run, which actually with my rack control script makes that super simple for you. All you have to do is /loadout, and you are given the loadout that our server requires you to carry. And that's it. That's all you have to do. And then obviously for, getting the actual Here, let's bring out the good one. The old one here. There we go. Old classic. Obviously, for getting ARs or beanbag shotguns, you have to do /unrack and space, and you can do either rifle, and that will give you the rifle, or you can do shotgun. And you can have both out at the same time. And for our shotgun, I believe this is currently not the beanbag shotgun. That is just because of course, this is in the beta server. So that is most definitely not a beanbag shotgun. But we do have one. And I guess I could change that. Give me 1 second. I'll show you our beanbag shotgun. Give me 1 second to just adjust this config. Beanbag shotgun. So we could search for rack control. We'll restart it here. And of course, you can't have like an AR or something out without unracking it first. Okay, great. So we'll just do /loadout to reset my loadout. And we will do /unrack shotgun. And you'll walk, this is for outside vehicle. You'll walk to the back. It's a bit finicky. Sometimes it doesn't work for every vehicle. Go timeout. Open that, and beanbag shotgun given. So this is our beanbag shotgun. And that's it. Of course, for the echo sound, that's not quite right, but that's just my sounds, so. Yep, and it will stun people for a few seconds. It basically works like the taser. So, this is one thing I love. And of course, to put it back, you could do this from inside the driver's seat or passenger seat. Or you can do it from outside at the back. Of course, like I said, there are some issues with this rack control script. It's not perfect, but there is a timeout. And once it times out, it will put you at the back and just continue with it anyway. And yes, I love this retro police car too. This is the best thing we have in here. We use SB modifications for our liveries, and he does some fantastic work, as you can tell. Also, I have the good old siren on here too. Yep, I love it. So yeah, it's a 1983 Dodge Diplomat. It's amazing. Currently we are working on EUP for our LSPD and Paleto Bay Police, which we have those cars done. We just do not have the EUP, which is getting done as we speak. And then we also do have medical. Our medical is just SAMS for now, so we use San Andreas State Medical Services. And I can actually show our EUP for this is from Thin Line Sanctuary. I believe my EMT is set up. Yes. So this is our EUP. Whoa, that was weird. And so we do have EMS and stuff open. Tow trucks and stuff are in the works as well. We are going with a tow company name of Moose Knuckle Towing. And that will be... just thought we would come up with a funny name for our tow company. And the tow company will probably be working out of this building right here. Maybe. I don't know. We're looking at another building. We might use this for something else. But at least for the time being, it will be this building. Would like to mention that this building does not come with cameras in the round back by default. But I have went in and made my own Y map. So now, there are cameras back here. There's one right here on this post, and they all work, so you can open recordings. And then there are 3 on the actual building itself. There's one right here that's facing that way. There's one over here. Right there, that is facing that way. And then there's one right here. And this one faces down the line of all these. And I can just do my loadout so I can get a weapon. And I'll just show you what the cameras look like. So we can just come into this, and yeah, this is one thing I needed. I wanted there to be cameras back here. Without cameras back here, it makes Elio's job very difficult when things happen back here. So these are the cameras. This is the camera I was just talking about. And then of course you have this camera, that camera, and then the gate camera. And they all work. And then of course you have the normal inside cameras as well. But they're by default. So yeah, I went in and added those because they're very helpful for knowing if a car gets stolen from back here, and you can see the car, you can see who, all that stuff. It's great. It's honestly amazing to be able to know. Let's see. Do I have anything else I can show off? That script's not really something I want to show off just yet, so I'm not going to show that one off. I have made my own script for trailers too, so you can. I guess we'll get a Tahoe. I think the Tahoes have a hitch. They do. So we can go to LEO, SAST, and the boat trailer. Interesting. And so yeah, I've made my own script that allows you to hook up 2 trailers too. There are ones out there, but I didn't want to pay for them. So you back up to it, and you press G, and there you go. That's it. And that works just as normal. Obviously, it does not have a boat on it, so it doesn't. Yeah. And of course, it disconnects just as you would normally by holding H or one of the D-pad buttons, whatever it is on controller. This is our other state trooper vehicles. They do as well have a boat. State troopers do have a boat. I'm just going to fly over here. We'll back this thing in so we can put a boat on it. Don't know why the door stayed open. So here are the State Trooper boats. Based 100% off the real life ones. Almost identical too. And just pull up to that, and you can press G, and the boat will get put on. As of right now, you do have to be out or inside the vehicle to attach. I actually do want to do what you mentioned there, where you can be outside the vehicle, but close to the hitch, and then run the same logic. That is something I want to do. Obviously, it's a bit more to do that, but it is definitely something I want to do because I think that would definitely increase RP. Yep, this is the boat we have. But yeah, no, I love that idea. I'm definitely gonna try to work on doing that. I will say this trailer is a bit, it doesn't stick to the ground that great. I'm not sure if there's anything I could do about it. But, the trailer's old, the boat's old, so, it's a bit outdated. But, yeah. I just now realized a weird sound. You still hear water. Well, that's surely interesting. Obviously we do have we have a few tow vehicles. We do have a rollback. Yeah, well, this doesn't actually roll back, but it is a flatbed. And then it does have the thing you stand in to attach a vehicle, which I can show off. One of my favorite vehicles is that. Thing's nice sounding. And there you go. It attaches right onto the back. Love that script too. Yeah, we're open to anyone to join. So anyone watching this stream, either live or later, feel free. You know, I can throw our Discord invite as well as our place you apply in the chat here. Just give me one moment. So that's where you go to apply. And to join the Discord, you go there. And that is it. Pretty basic, pretty simple. So yeah, that is our stuff as far as that goes. Any other questions before I end the stream here? Could be about my scripts, script suggestions, anything. Of course, no problem. Love showing off stuff like this. I do have a few other things I'm working on, then I will show off a bit more when they're ready. Well, if you do think of something, you can always come back to this video, comment on it, or just DM me. If you want, after I end the stream here, you can DM me and I can get you the file for the light stuff, if you want that. But yeah, no, we're open to people joining. We are pretty small right now. We have about 13, 14 people in here, something like that. We're always looking for more people. We're trying to grow the community. It takes time, but the more people you get in here, the quicker it grows. So we're trying to do some good stuff here. Um, so yeah. Anyway, this is yeah. I think I showed everything I wanted to show. Um, Pretty sure anyway. Don't think I missed anything with. Oh, with the transit hub script actually, if another passenger, at least in the vehicles, the cars anyway, if you have a passenger, they are able to exit the ride early safely. They, instead of saying cancel ride, they'll have a button that says exit ride, and they can click on that button and it will stop the vehicle, let them out and them only, and then continue the vehicle ride on to your destination. So you're not just stuck in it if you are a passenger that didn't call for it. I mean, you're not stuck in it as the main person either, but you can actually RP and, safely get out of the vehicle without having to just jump out or cancel the ride altogether, as that goes. So, yeah, I appreciate everyone coming to the stream. It was fun. Glad I got to show off some stuff we are working on here. Um, a lot of it is live. We do have the Big Daddy Zombies as well. So if you guys are interested in the undead or the zombie server that we have, that will be coming back online here shortly. We just have been putting a lot of work into this stuff and haven't got to it. So I appreciate you guys for coming out, and I will see you guys in the next video or stream. See you guys.